We are back in England today, and this is our last country. And today we took a tour
to the Windsor Castle, but this is part of our tour actually that's included in the Stonehenge and the Roman bath. The coolest thing about it is it's a fully functioning castle, which is pretty amazing.
This is the Windsor Castle, what it looks like on the outside. It is located west of London in a small cute little town called Windsor. We had to spend there a little bit of time while we were waiting for a tour guide to get us a ticket. We were able to enjoy the castle from the outside. It's a very great sight. This is the original train that Queen Victoria used to come to the Windsor Castle. That's pretty cool.
Just entered the grounds of the Windsor Castle. Apparently the Queen is actually here right now as we are touring the castle. So it's a very big castle here. Supposed to be very beautiful inside. We're about to see what the inside looks like. This is really cool when you're inside the Windsor Castle, this walkway. Yana's having fun touring here at the Windsor Castle. He's loving the grounds. A lot of places for him to run around and the grass is nice and green. Bye bye.
Unfortunately, we were not allowed to film inside the castle.
We just exited the Windsor Castle and I was really impressed. Inside is so beautiful. There's so many decorative things that they have from all their lives and pictures of their families and just so many different cool things. And we're actually passing inside the castle that the Queen still comes and visits and lives. So which is really cool because there's not many castles you can visit or tour that's fully functioning.
And now we're moving on to the second part of our tour is the Stonehenge. We went back to the bus and it took us about an hour and a half to get to the Stonehenge.
We just arrived at the Stonehenge attraction. Now we booked a tour here. We have wristbands that we have in our wrists and this gets us into the Stonehenge bus. But you can purchase tickets for the Stonehenge attraction here. So which is really cool. And when you do that, you can take your time. Because for us, we only have a good 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it's not much time when you're booking it with a tour company. And they have restrooms here and also places to eat. What you do is when you come here for the Stonehenge attraction, once you get your ticket or you're with a tour guide, there are these buses right in front of me that transport people from the station area to the actual Stonehenge sites. There is no more roads that go there. They took that out. So those are the wristbands that Lucy has. And this entitles us to enter the bus to go to the Stonehenge sites. They're running very often all the time, so you don't have to worry about really waiting a long time for these buses. It doesn't get too busy because there's a lot of them, so which is really great.
Our bus ride took us about 5 to 7 minutes. They also told us that we can walk from the bus stop to the Stonehenge itself, and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And while we were taking the bus ride, I saw how far it was and how long people were taking to walk there. And I would say this is a good 40 to 50 minutes walk. So I would not recommend to walk unless it's perfect weather and you have perfect shoes and a mood for walking.
We finally made it here with the charter bus. And from here you can already see the Stonehenge. And you walk there probably around 10-minute walk. It's a beautiful grassy field throughout the shuttle ride and the walk. It's very beautiful here. So we're getting closer to the Stonehenge sighting. They actually don't know who made it or what the purpose was for the Stonehenge. You know, even some say aliens made it. It's about 2500 BC. It's a really cool sight to see. It's really pretty and interesting. It's really cool that we're here because we would only see this on TV shows or in Ancient Aliens. Now we're actually at the site, enjoying the beautiful view right in front of us. There's Lucy taking pictures of this Stonehenge, and we're really grateful and thankful that we're here, be able to see it in person, which is really amazing.
It was so amazing that we got to see this beautiful sight. It was absolutely worth extending our trip for this. It was very interesting to learn that there is an actual legend about Stonehenge. According to this legend, the wizard Merlin removed Stonehenge from Ireland, where it had been created by giants and rebuilt in England. Keanu actually liked to be here at Stonehenge. I don't know what makes him excited about it.
Alien powers.
Or maybe he just likes rocks so much. Since he was little, he loved rocks. So he actually excited to see so many rocks that size. It's really cool in here. It's a little windy. If you're planning to come here this type of season, better to bring some hats, warm jackets, double pants, because it's open field. Back in the day, you used to be able to come close to the stones or walk around between those stones, but in 1970s, they closed it off, this area, with ropes. So now visitors can only look at the stones from the distance.
Here's a replica that they placed here of one of the stones that is on the Stonehenge. So here you can play with it, touch it, so you kind of have an idea what it is being up close to the actual stone.
It could have taken about 100 people to move the stone, so this is a test to see how many more people you need to help you to move the stone. In Jake's case, after he pulls it, it lights up that he needed 90 more people to move this big of a stone. And after this, 2 men and 1 child did the test. It showed that they needed 85 more people to move the stone.
Right in front of us are the homes of the builders of the Stonehenge at 2500 BC. So this is what it looked like back then.
After spending about 2 hours at the site, we hopped back on the bus, and it took us about another hour to reach our third and final attraction, is the city of Bath. Beautiful town, amazing architecture. This is the true England that we were looking for.
This town is very, very pretty. Something you would see in the movies and something I expected I would see in London. Here you actually feel like the old time London walking through this town, the town of Bath. Takes you back in the day. As you can see, the setting of the buildings looks like from back in the day, how London used to look like.
At the city of Bath, we decided to visit one of its biggest attractions, is the Roman Bath. It is a temple that was constructed between 60 to 70 AD in the first few decades of Roman Britain.
Just arrived here at the Roman Bath. This is the entrance. It's really pretty. And I love how they illustrate to you the way the Romans used to live in the Roman times. Very cool. So now we're inside the Roman bath. This is how the Romans used to bathe. And they would believe that this water would heal them from sickness, which they were wrong, because most of them would get sick due to the dirtiness of the water. Bottom level was the original Roman bath, street level. When the Roman bath was open to the public, they built top in 1897. Very cool to see how the ancient Romans used to walk in this pavement, bathed here in this pool of water.
And temperature of this water reaches 40 degrees Celsius, and back in the Roman time it was clear water. Now not so much.
These statues are really cool. It makes you just feel like you're back in ancient Rome, walking along and seeing this bold statues just standing up. This is such an amazing view from up here in this terrace. You can just imagine how the Romans were here. Such a chilling experience to feel like you're walking amongst the Romans in those times and seeing how their way of life was and how they enjoyed it, bathing in this pool of water. We're actually at the original ground level of the bath where the Romans actually used to walk and bathe in these waters. And that's pretty cool just to be in this site. So this steam has been used to heat up the water since 1993. It's just so really pretty and cool. See how the structures were from the inside in the Roman baths. It's a very cool museum as well when you come to the Roman bath, because you see how it was built. I know it's in ruins, but you can just use your imagination how beautiful it looked and how well built it was back then. They were kind of more modernized beings from back in those times. As you can see in front of me, This is how the ladies would dress in the Roman time. And the background is original Roman grounds here on the first level of the bath. Here's another cool setting of like a jacuzzi type bath back in the day in the Roman times. Very impressive. So many amazing things. And I love how they illustrated on TV how it used to look like here with this setting here. And these are all original. Here's an illustration of this bath area that we're looking at. And that's how they would used to do it.
Here's the east side of the bath, and it's such a beautiful sight. Again, this water used to be clear back in Roman times.
In this room, they actually had a gym where they would work out with weightlifting, with actual weights like we use now these days. They're very modern and back in those times.
It's amazing how they illustrate every single site.
They're a very advanced civilization.
It's amazing how this site never ends. We keep walking and walking, and there is more and more to it. There's so much more to see. Unfortunately, on the tour, we don't have that much time, but it's just beautiful and amazing how there is just so many baths, left and right, different sections, different baths. Such an amazing sight. We just exited the bath, and I'm so amazed how beautiful and cool the site is. I honestly thought it's gonna be just that pool area, but there is so much to it, and it just keeps going, and it's so interesting every step of the way. This is the area outside of the bath. This is the street in the town of Bath, and they preserve it this way. So even modern buildings that they build, they have to build around the stone just to make it look like it's still back in the day.
This town truly is like the old England that I expected to come and see. Not like in London, too modern. Here it feels like you're really in old England. Now this concludes our journey on this tour of the bath here in England. We really enjoyed it. I really honestly didn't expect too much of it, but I'm very shocked and very impressed with the whole tour of the bath, because it's more than what they show you online or on tour companies. There's so much more to it and see, and I love that they have videos of how the bath used to be here, how the Romans had their buildings, like a full structure of the place on the video, which is really amazing. And you know, you don't have to really use your imagination, they show it for you. So I definitely think this place is really cool to see when you are here in England. I definitely suggest you do it because you will be impressed.
And that's how our almost a month Europe journey ended. Of course, in the end, as a tradition now, Kiana made his final London cocktail. And after that, we headed back to Russia. Of course, it was a long journey back too, because you know now with traveling during COVID, you have to do all your COVID tests. And of course, in our case, they didn't have available appointment times, so we had to extend another day and stay another night in London. So we finally got our COVID test done. The funny thing is they didn't even ask for our test results, but we had so much fun in Europe, and now it's time for us to rest in Russia before we start our next journey to Philippines.